First, I want to say that I became a Lupe fan pretty late, about 2021 when I was 16. I've listened to everything in his discography except these, and I understand almost everything up until here. But I am a huge fan, and I genuinely think he is the greatest rapper of all time. Despite this, I'm trying to remain unbiased, but I do think this all should be noted. So, what is the reaction format? Well, basically, there are a bunch of YouTubers who react to rap music, but I think there's one important distinction to make between them and the average reactor. That distinction is breaking down bars.
We finna try to break it down, man. Biology class in session, man. Let's get it.
These reactors can react to songs they've already heard and actually add a lot of value. They're channels that's entire purpose is just to break down bars. And I do like these channels, just try to avoid the Tom McDonald reactions. One thing you hear a lot in these videos is,
I'm catching it. I don't want to pause after every bar. We be here for 45 minutes. Just making sure y'all catching it.
These reactors are catching every single line that's being said. And it's funny because I actually think you can. Sometimes I listen to some of the best rappers ever. King Los, King Crooked, Lil Wayne, Eminem, Dax. And apart from the odd reference I need to look up or get a reactor to tell me about, I can catch the whole thing. Lupe Fiasco actually has one of the best examples of barring up and yet still mostly being easy to catch on first listen, with what has to be the greatest debut feature verse of all time, right?
Yes, guess who's on third? Lupe still like Lupe in the third. I'm trying to stop lying like I'm Rob, but I'm not lying when I'm...
Now this actually brings up an interesting point. Lupe will occasionally use obscure references as a punchline to make songs harder to catch. But does that count as being impossible to catch on first listen? Because what about some other, more obvious references that people just don't know about from other artists? You could definitely argue that a reference being too obscure means you've broken the reaction format. But in my opinion, that's too arbitrary. So we're going to have to go deeper. All the way to...
Yeah! What up? Chi-Town.
The first mixtape of Lupe's career. By his own admission, he was still learning to rap, and yet the very first verse already has something impossible to catch on first listen. He starts the verse with,
It's me, soldier. Now let me put the streets down like steamrollers.
And slowly rises into the sky throughout the verse, and he ends with,
This is top flow, better look out below. Did you even catch the changing theme?
The first time I listened to this song, I had Genius up and was reading along with the lyrics, and yet I still had to pause after almost every single line to sit there for a second and think through everything, click the annotations, and I still wouldn't understand stuff. And also, this is the first project of Lupe's career. This is 2005.
What up, Night Nation? This your boy, Stevie Knight.
Stevie Knight is a reaction channel who generally does a great job of breaking down bars. Stevie Knight made an attempt at breaking down Mural. He admitted to having already heard it, but it was still functionally a first reaction because he hadn't really dove into the lyrics yet. I know many great rappers who you can barely pay attention to and get their punchlines first listen. But for Lupe, you may as well have never heard the song before if you weren't actively breaking it down. Stevie Knight ends up getting 71 bars into the song, and the video is 39 minutes long.
Oh, hell no, bro. I just seen this shit, the raw footage of this shit. It's 44 fucking minutes. Ain't even feel like it's been that long, bro. This shit about to be a fucking 2-hour long fucking video. Yo, that got me fucked up.
4 minutes of which is just intro. So he took 35 minutes to get 71 bars into the song. In my opinion, that is breaking the reaction format. When it takes half a minute to understand each bar, that is breaking the reaction format. Let's take this example from his Adoration of the Magi reaction. By this point, he is using Times New Roman to react to. If you've not heard Adoration of the Magi, go watch the Times New Roman video on it. Okay, thank you. Stevie Knight knows all of the album covers Lupe references in this chorus, but that does not mean he would catch it on first listen.
Like, there's no way I would have known that other than outside of this man putting this shit in his fucking video. And it was definitely intentional because on Lupe, by Lupe, because he said, why you chasing the money, just a baby, never mind. Never, that's the fucking name of Nirvana's album. So you know he's talking about the album cover. And then fucking Ready to Die, tears on your eyes, your head in the sky. Bruh, he meant every last one of those fucking album covers, bro. That's fucking hard.
And keep in mind, this is Stevie Knight, one of the best bar breakdown reactors there is. The only two I'd argue are better are The Third Ernest and Knox Hill, both of which have not done live reactions to Lupe outside of drill music and Zion, because they already know who Lupe is and have heard his whole catalog. This is Blight Media. Oh, god damn it. They have done extensive reactions to Lupe Fiasco, and they, let's just say, even if they understand how good he is, they don't always get it.
No. The money takes over the dream.
Yeah.
You have a dream at first, but then the green
That's not green.
clouds the dream.
They are reacting to Times New Roman, and they get the bars the majority of rappers say. But for Lupe, oftentimes, they are completely lost.
Not even a minute in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I want to make this very clear. I did not say this to disparage them in any way at all. Oftentimes when I first listen to Lupe, I pause and just stare and think about the lyrics. And I'm still where they're at. I know he's saying something crazy, I just don't know exactly what yet. This is just how Lupe's music often is, breaking the first listen or reaction format. He said the title of the video. He said the title of the video. That's funny. Okay, so this originally wasn't in the script, but I just found this guy, Blackish University, and he has a reaction to Mural that is 2 hours and 55 minutes long. I haven't watched this yet, so I don't know how much of this is actually specifically explaining the meanings of the bars, but this is what I mean when I say breaking the reaction format. So what was the point of this video? Does this ultimately prove my opinion of Lupe Fiasco being the greatest lyricist of all time? No. The best rapper is kind of impossible to debate, I think. There's too much subjectivity shrouded around the morsels of objectivity to conclude one singular person is the best rapper. So what's the point? Well, what Lupe did was really cool. Isn't that what rapping is all about? You know, I wonder what Lupe is doing nowadays.
I think we have to do something. He dragged his feet. He's always talking about, he's always making it about him. But it's really about us, right? And he's always doing this thing with his sandwiches. It's like he has everything is all. It's like, hey, check out my sandwich. It always degrades down to like his sandwiches, and I don't think that makes for good documentary footage. Like we need to have something deeper, something more profound.
I want to talk about my sandwich, which is the same every day. It makes me happy, and this is where my life is.